So after a whole year of solving things and figuring stuff out, there's one thing that isn't quite fully solved yet, and something we haven't actually heard about all year: Rick Grimes. I'm pretty sure we found out more stuff through this channel than we have from Scott Gimble himself. Literally the only stuff we've seen about the Rick Grimes movies so far is that the CRM symbol, the 3 circles, means 3 communities, but we still don't know a massive amount officially since after even Rick left in 2018. I found out quite a lot of stuff this year, so this video is going to be one of those videos where I could say in one you can be all up to date on Rick Grimes and what we know so far. So in this one video, I'm going to get you all up to date on Rick Grimes. All the stuff we figured out this year, every single thing will be in this video. So the first major thing we found out is that Rick Grimes is in a city. This was later confirmed by the teaser trailer we got for the Rick Grimes movie. It was confirmed it was a city in the trailer. We initially said this was Charlotte in North Carolina, but then it turned out the city shown in the teaser was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the woman that Eugenie's talking to on the radio said she is born near Strasbourg, which is Pennsylvania. That's why I look at Rick's final episode so much for video ideas and theories, because if the city was foreshadowed in that hallucination, what else was? There's so much there. And when you think about it, this was the last time we would see the main character of that main show ever, or most likely for a really long time, so they're going to put a lot of stuff in there. This city looks like Charlotte. Rick was of course in the Catalyst building, so maybe it was Charlotte initially, but they changed it to Philadelphia. I think the reason we haven't seen much about the Rick Grimes movies is because so much of it is still being written. It's such a big ambitious idea that a lot of it would have to change, and a lot of it would have to be developed for everything to work, a bit like with this Eugene storyline we're seeing on the show. As I've said, it's likely this isn't the Commonwealth anymore, because it's all going to come together. It's really ambitious, so it's going to take quite a lot. They don't want to announce stuff to us that isn't going to end up happening. And don't forget, it still is entertainment. As much as we all know about this underlying story that we all care about, it's still, they're trying to sell a TV show. And The Walking Dead World Beyond, they want to put all of that energy into that before giving us all this stuff about Rick Grimes, because like I've said many times now, that's what Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 did. They showed us all this stuff, promising some Rick Grimes CRM stuff, then they let it go, and it was just a mistake. They want all of us to be excited for World Beyond. There wouldn't be any need to really watch that show if they already give us, for example, another teaser trailer or any confirmation that it's being filmed. That's what next year's going to be like with The Walking Dead. They're going to focus on periodically different things. For example, in February, it will all be about the main show. Then just after that, World Beyond, then Fear. Then you can expect some massive Rick Grimes stuff. That's why I tend not to take World Beyond too seriously and get too upset that they've tried to milk the franchise that much, because I think the main intentions of it is to build the foundation that these 3 movies won't want to focus on. For example, the fact that there are bigger communities like the CRM out there, that it is this sinister kind of big organization. It's a lot to take in, and in that first movie we will just want to see Rick Grimes, so they don't want to be unbalancing what the focus of that movie is, because I know so many people just want to see Rick Grimes, his story, than having these characters we've never seen before be the center of our attention and care. So that's why I'm slightly more optimistic about this 3rd movie, because I see the intentions there. Whereas Fear was using the CRM, it's like the CRM is using these characters. Like with me, I'm going to be watching this show for more information on the CRM. I don't really care about these individual stories with these kids, but it's there. The stories are being told within that. And I think if you're making a whole new TV show, you do need, of course, individual stories, even though it is just probably being used to show the CRM. Like I said, it's entertainment, so it's got to have that. And of course, another thing we found out this year is the true meaning behind A and B. We figured out Jadis was trying to get all 3 of the A's we saw in the main show get bit. Rick Grimes himself, Negan and Gabriel, she tried to get close to them, restrained them, and were going to get them bit, and then send them off in the CRM helicopter. That's something that people keep forgetting. The World Beyond makes us think that it's such a nice place, but wherever Rick is, he's in the community that we haven't seen yet in this city. And it is this city that looks to be dealing with these bitten people, these hostages and these people that people trade off. This unknown community would deal with the characters like Heath and Rick Grimes himself. They're all going there. Jadis would get the special treatment, but although they saved Rick Grimes, you're forgetting he was cast off as a B after potentially being an A. Remember, Rick Grimes did go to the darkest community out of the 3 that we've seen. It's extremely likely that Maggie at the Commonwealth does come under one of the 3 communities to do with the CRM. Monument, the community that we're going to see in the World Beyond, is also one of those 3 communities, and what we do know is that Rick has gone to the one we just haven't seen yet. All we have seen of it is that it's dark and almost evil. This new character, Elizabeth, was arriving at Monument. So she's actually come from that darker community within the CRM. It's almost as though Pamela from the comics, which is of course the leader of the Commonwealth in the comics, her story has been given to this Elizabeth character, and it's all been put onto a much grander scale. In the comics, it was this one community with 50,000 people, and by the end of the comic storyline, they had built this civilization, but from what it looks like, the CRM is that civilization that has already been built for many, many years. It actually looks like it was all done before the apocalypse. And of course you've got to think, why would they bring Rick Grimes into these movies with the CRM if the CRM were just good people? If they had no bad intentions. Just like with the main show, how long can they really make walkers their enemy? They don't. They have to bring another villain across, or conflict within their communities. It's always gonna happen. It's the same with the Rick Grimes movies. It's the same with every TV show ever. That's the point. For the drama, and in this case, for the horror. Which leads us on to the next thing. There will be a new walker one way or another in the Rick Grimes movies. Not just the scenic ones, I mean ones that are actually different to every walker you've ever seen. That's what we're going to be seeing in the Rick Grimes movies. We just have to see it. Scott Gimple actually recently commented saying that the Rick Grimes movies are going to be more like Logan, and we all know what happened at the end of that, but he said we're going to be able to understand this man's story, his turmoil, without having to really watch the main show, which, with things like El Camino, I get a bit annoyed when people watch El Camino without watching Breaking Bad, because I feel like you literally have to watch Breaking Bad to understand anything about it. Especially with the way El Camino was done. Yeah, you can understand this man's turmoil, his crime, but you truly will not understand anything about Jesse without seeing Breaking Bad. But when Scott Gimple said this about Rick Grimes, about his movies, I was actually really happy about that, because what this movie needs at the very first one is a bigger audience. It needs to appeal to everyone, not just the casual or even the bigger Walking Dead fans. The people that have never watched The Walking Dead before or don't care to, all they need to know is it's a man that's been taken away from his family and is being held back in a zombie apocalypse. That's all the people need to see. The idea of The Walking Dead has grown stale, and so the only thing to make that movie stand out in theatres is to do things differently, not just from what The Walking Dead's always done, but from other movies. The Walking Dead isn't a comedy, it's not really always action-packed. And of course they're going to want this movie to be as successful as it can be. I'm not saying the current The Walking Dead viewers all over the world wouldn't make this movie successful, of course it will be, but they're making a movie, finally. They're going to want this thing to stand out. And so this first movie, when this trailer comes out for it, when it's actually been filmed, it's going to be all Rick Grimes. And I do think there's going to be a new, fundamentally changed Walker. And the main drive of this movie and the main marketing idea would be this new walker. Rick Grimes running away or running to these faster or stronger walkers. And I've always based that up on the fact that A means bitten people. All the A's, Jadis was trying to get them bit and then send them off. If that isn't for experimentation, I don't know what is. Of course you could say, why don't they just take a walker from the street? Why not just go outside and grab one themselves? Well, because they're not fresh. In Monument, you'll probably find characters just go missing and the characters mention that. The Bees, of course, go off to fight and become a soldier for the CRM. Isabel in For the Walking Dead didn't seem to like what she was doing. She seemed brainwashed. All of these soldiers have their face hidden. They're not people anymore. They're just puppets. The only other explanation for A is not that they're new walkers and being experimented on, but they're examples of a cure. So still being experimented on, but for the cure, which I don't really get because so many people have already turned. Robert Kirkman even said he would never explore that idea, but that was years ago. Things change, people change, opinions change. The CRM is now a thing. And that's a lot of what we found out this year about Rick Grimes and the CRM. Of course, next year we're going to get so much more, especially after World Beyond has started airing. This year was quite empty in terms of Rick Grimes stuff being officially given to us, but I think we found out quite a fair bit considering almost nothing has been announced, and we've just used stuff that The Walking Dead has already given us to find stuff out. On the top right of your screen, you want to see an eye icon, just click or tap on that and you can vote in the poll. Do you think Rick Grimes will die at the end of these movies? Make sure you let me know, and of course let me know in the comments what you think as well. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to press the like button. It actually genuinely supports me and we'll get this video more seen. And of course, if you want to know more about Rick Grimes, make sure you check these videos out. One of my favourites of the year was the Lonely Walker theory. It was actually my most rated video of the year, so make sure you go and check that out. It actually gives a profound meaning to the way Rick Grimes could die in the end of these movies. Make sure you go and check it out. And of course, if you want to see more about Maggie and when she will return and when Michonne will leave, make sure you check this out. Maggie will bring the Commonwealth to the main show. And lastly, make sure you watch this video. It's a whole video dedicated to finding out who dies in the caves. And all the signs are pointing to one thing. So make sure you go and check it out. And of course, make sure you subscribe so you're the first to hear about The Walking Dead. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.